Hey there, so this is part two in the tutorial series where we actually implement a layered score inside of Unity. In the first tutorial of this series, we created a very small game world, which we're looking at right now. Now we're going to import our music assets into the world itself. So let's go ahead and go to our Finder. And in our Finder, I'm going to take these three layered music assets that I have, and here is my Unity folder. So I'm going to basically create into my assets folder in Unity. I'm just going to create a folder called music, and where I'm going to keep the music assets. So I'll just call it music. Then inside of that, I'll drag in those three layers that I have, like so. Now, when I go back to Unity, I'll see those in the assets folder. Now, it takes a second for Unity to kind of look at that folder and understand what's in the folder that we just added, this music asset. And basically what it's doing when it pauses like that, it's actually converting our files to the default compressor, which is Ogg Vorbis at 100, at quality 100. And so it's kind of pre-making those files for us so that we can use them within our level. Okay, so we've imported our assets. Now we want to get them to play back with inside of our level itself. So in order to do that, there's a couple different ways that I could do that. In this level, what I want to do is just create a music object in the world that I can play these three files out of. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's create a new game object, and let's use the sphere for where our music is going to sit. So this is just a place in the world where we can attach some of our music files to it. And what we can do is we can actually take our three layers and drag them onto the actual sphere. It creates an audio source. Remember, an audio source in the world itself is basically a speaker within inside the world. And so I created one, and I want to make sure that it loops because these files all loop together. Now I'm going to create a secondary one by just dragging layer 2. I can also drag up to the hierarchy, so now I have layer 2 on there. Oh, so you could see that if I drag music 1 up there, all it does is it overrides the current audio source. We actually want to have 3 audio sources, so that was the wrong approach. So instead, what you want to do is say add component, type in audio source, it finds it for you, and click there. Now what we can do is sort of use the audio clip picker, this little button here, to pick layer 2. And again, add another component or another speaker to the object, which basically we're going to set up as layer 3. Now, when I play this, I should hear all 3 layers playing at the same time. Now, since all 3 of these speakers or audio sources are set to 2D, we're not going to hear any spatialization on them, which is key in this example. We don't want any spatialization. This is underscore, so we don't want, as we move back away from the object, we don't want the sound to attenuate or turn down. So that's why we want to leave them just the way they are. And one other thing that I forgot is that we have 2 main cameras right now. You should only have one. When we imported the first-person controller, we actually imported a camera. So if I look at my first-person character here, you can actually see that it has a camera on it. So we can delete the main camera that our level initially provided for us. So I can go up here, right-click, then delete, and then save my scene. Okay. So this is the end of part 2. In the next one, in part 3, we're going to talk about setting up audio mixers and snapshots for our layered mix. See you on the other side.